11.14. So I'm just thinking out loud, anyway. 11.1. Hello there.
Hi.
Hello.
Kevin.
Hello, yes. Hi. You okay?
Kevin.
Yes.
Hi, Kevin.
I can hear you, yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't. I'm having trouble with this computer, so it's possible I might have to go off and try another computer.
Oh, gosh.
Well, don't worry about it. So just say it. So if I disappear, I'm coming back, and it'll just be marked user, USER, okay, on the other computer, because for some strange reason, that's how it's coming up.
Right, because you're in a different position, aren't you? Are you in the same setting, or you look?
I'm in the same setting. I've just got it turned around slightly, but I think that once the video gets going, I might have a problem, but I'm not quite sure until I've tried it. Okay.
But you seem okay now.
I'm okay at the moment. I'm just we've had to. Anyway, don't worry about it.
No, sadly, you're dependent on the technology. This is one of the frustrations, no matter how much you do it. Oh, wow, my boss, my boss, this is the most important.
Yeah, no, I'll go off. Okay.
So you're going off now, but coming
No,
back.
I'm not going off. I'll stay on until I have problems. If I don't have any problems, then I'll stay here.
Yeah.
So if I disappear,
We know it's not personal. As soon as Anna starts speaking and Pat disappears, it's not personal. It's technical reasons.
And if you see something coming up as user, it'll be me trying to get on another computer. That's
okay. And what I'll have to do, if you do, I have to throw you because you can't have two people under the same username. So I will get rid of you totally. If you have to leave, but you haven't properly left, I'll have to get rid of you.
It'll be a different name. It'll be under
I'll be a different name. That's better. It's much better that way. Yeah.
Just say user. Okay. All right. I'll go on.
You're a user. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Hiya.
Hello, Anna. Hello. How are you?
I'm grand. How are you doing?
We're not doing too badly. You know, it's kind of just adjusting to this weird existence.
It's a strange new reality, isn't it?
Yes. And as much as I feel you get used to it,
yes,
we've had to, it's still not quite.
No, it's still not quite life, is it? And then every week there seems to come another, now that they're loosening lockdown and things like that, it seems to come with new questions and things.
Yeah, so, in fact, I thought it would make life easier, but I think it's even made things more complicated.
Yeah, too many questions to wonder about and choices.
No answers. And if you get an answer, you're even more confused.
Exactly.
What I say, I'm not about going to politics with Boston. One thing he did say, which really did strike me, is use your common sense.
Yes.
And I think that is the key thing. I mean, rather than just trying to go, oh, you can do this, you can't do that. I think people can work out what's right and what isn't. So I say common sense, I think, is the key thing.
Yeah, you got to hope that people have it.
Yeah, unfortunately, common sense isn't that common.
Exactly. Hi, Janet. Good to see you.
You just getting kissed.
Yeah, people getting set up. Or you're muted there.
Best thing for her, I say. But
so you're the host. Is it possible for me to be a co-host?
Yeah, if you need to share anything, is that what you need to do?
No, it's a really silly anxiety thing about mutings and unmutings. And
okay, if you can, there's not a problem doing that. So long as, obviously, sorry, I've muted you. So long as you have, as a service leader, you shouldn't really have any more responsibilities. But if you prefer it, that's fine. It's not.
Yeah, and I understand I probably won't be touching anything at all, but just sometimes if it's
What we've learned is that even as if say you said, Janet, can you do this reading? And she says yes, we'll let Janet mute herself rather than because what happens, Janet will mute herself, then I'll mute her, and then she's back on unmute, and we're having a game of ping pong. Yeah. So we let people self-mute. So basically, as a host, there's no we kind of quite lax as you go. There's no passwords. There's no waiting when we trust everybody. So as a host, it's sort of fairly easy. It's just normally if somebody forgets to unmute and all that.
Okie dokie. No, that's grand. In that case, I don't need to be. I'm not so fussed there. It's funny because the community I'm normally leading in, I'm the only person that really gets Zoom. I've been teaching other people and trying to relinquish that responsibility, but so it ends up that I end up being host and service leader, and I think that's where the anxiety comes.
Yeah, you're used to it. Yes,
I'm really happy not to be. That's actually quite a liberation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got you in that, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect anything. You're co-host. You don't have to actually do anything. But just in case you need to. The difficulty is, especially for you, because I know you've got a reasonable voice, and Joseph singing, to get two people singing together, just no matter how good you are at singing, just does not work.
We spoke about it yesterday, and we're just gonna share, but not sing together, just alternate.
Yeah, I know. I get it. Yeah, you're gonna pick that up. But there's a temptation to join in, and what sometimes happens. So somebody's asked to do the prayer for the royal family or whatever, and then they forget to unmute themselves, and then it comes to say singing the Elena, and they're actually on. Yeah, and you forget who's on. So you've got to go for everyone who's got to unmute.
Yeah.
So, but we've tried, even with Kaddish, we thought get everyone to join in, but we can find that it's just all over the place.
Yeah, takes away from it.
The Kiddish will join in, and then that's a bit random. But I think by then, we're ready for it.
Yeah, it's also nice for like small moments where it's appropriate to get that kind of cacophony of sound.
Yes, yeah.
Just remember that even if it's not quite matched up, we're in a community together.
Yeah, and what I said to you like is that if we to get volunteers to do any prayers, that is good, because it's quite difficult sometimes. You just sat there and you can't do it. You're not involved at all. Yeah, when you're in synagogue, because you generally people sometimes do it, but you're still trying to everyone can see you, so you're not going to suddenly check something on your phone or sort of switch off totally. But when you're in your living room and you're just hearing one or two voices and you're not involved and you're not having yours, people do tend to switch off. So to keep everyone on their toes, I think it's good to ask for volunteers. I think somebody who I'm looking at now might be up for something. Who knows?
Sounds good. No, I agree with you. The more voices, the better, I think, on these.
Yeah, because it's quite, it is quite difficult. So how's Janet?
Janet, you're muted.
For now, you can be unmuted for now. Make the most of it, because we should make.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi, Janet.
Anna, have you got your dog with you?
I have. She's running in and out of the garden, and she'll no doubt make an appearance, I'm sure.
Oh, well, that would be lovely. Very nice. Please introduce her to everybody.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, it's very important. Maybe you could do a sermon or an aliyah. Can your dog do an aliyah for us?
Yeah, well, I've got her actually. She's been practicing the sermon this morning, so she's going to do it instead of me.
Well, we had Joseph's tortoise gave a sermon about a month ago.
Sweetheart.
Yeah, tortoise. My mother-in-law's in the background. Yeah, tortoise. It's just that.
I thought it was Joseph's daughter who gave the sermon.
Tortoise, yeah. So we're trying to.
Oh, the tortoise. I thought you said daughter as well.
No, tortoise.
Tortoise.
No, I said daughter.
You said daughter. I heard daughter. She's a cutie, Joseph's daughter.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. So we have a variety. Hello, Hepzibah.
Hi, Hepzibah.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Hepzibah.
Yeah. So,
Morning.
Pat, has Paul got the Sun newspaper reading between those pages? Yeah, he's making out with this giant broadsheet, and probably it's some sort of comic he's really reading. We need proof.
Yeah, put my.
We got LinkedIn. It's funny. What we always get now is get a late rush. I think now people think they're more, which they are probably more competent on Zoom. They're now logging a minute before. So what normally happens is about by 5 past, everyone's sort of settled and muted. So that
sounds about right.
Yeah. Before, when we first started, I think people did try to get in about 20 minutes before, thinking it's going to take ages. But
then we just get used to it, don't we?
Yeah. But it hasn't happened so far. I normally get a call or message sort of between 5 and 4. What's the code again? Or I can't do this. Or they always save it to 5 minutes before.
Oh, Lindsay and Adrian, hi there.
Adrian. Oh, we've got Joseph. That's good to know.
Hi, Joseph. Oh, connecting to audio. Hi there, Joseph.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom, Lindsay.
Hi.
My nervous moment is when the service leader and Joseph, or whoever the singer is, hasn't turned up. Once you're both there, then I know that.
Then anything can happen.
Yeah, that means who am I going to ask to do the singing? Who am I going to ask to take the service? It's kind of, we've had a few little panics.
Is there someone that's been asked to do the Haftarah?
Yes.
Adrian's doing it.
Oh, Adrian's doing it. Lovely.
Yeah.
Great.
Good to see you, Anna. Welcome back.
So how are you guys doing?
Good, very good.
Good. Oh, I'm glad to
Can I
hear
just check my sound before we go any
Yeah,
further?
can we do a sound check?
Hold on. How's that?
Sounds good.
That sounds very good. Excellent. Mum, my mother-in-law's the best judge. What do you think of the sound?
They always
Give it a thumbs up.
Okay. Fine.
Ooh, what's your dog called, Anna?
Cute dog.
Oh, look at that.
This is Maisie. She likes to be in as many services as possible. I'm
Oh,
hoping she'll stay quiet, but
yeah,
she
well,
might
never know.
want to join in.
Don't worry, most of us are barking, so.
Okay.
But I think the dog needs to wear a tally. Is it dog wearing a tally? I'm a bit.
Well, sometimes she does snuggle under my tally when she gets comfy during the services. So She'll be all
Doesn't
set to
it
pray.
doesn't need to wear head covering. We're not that. We're avoiding that.
We let her choose for that one.
Yeah, if this was an Orthodox service, well, actually, no, then it's a female, so there'd be.
Yeah, that's it. Then they wouldn't let her, even more so.
I don't know what the halachic rules are regarding pets in synagogues. Is there actually any kind of?
I think similar to Islam, dogs aren't loved very much in Judaism.
Oh, right. Really?
But they do feature in Talmud. You get dogs and cats in Talmud, so it might not be as clear cut as that. It might have been a more cultural thing. But yeah.
Okay, Alan's doing his somersaults. That's part
Hi,
of
Alan.
He does a few sort of cartwheels and then he sort of joins us. It's part of his fitness regime.
Oh, great. Morning stretches. Hi there, George. I'm not sure we've said hello.
Hello. Hi, George. Are you? Where? George, do you want to unmute yourself for now?
Okay.
Hi, George, and we've got Stephen here, not from our synagogue, but it gives us, it's lovely actually having this backdrop because it gives us a reminder of where our home still is. I know we kind of haven't been there for a while, but
Sounds like Kevin.
The other half is now coming.
we've got Mary, so we've nearly got a minion, not quite.
Morning.
Morning.
This is no good because my legs are open.
We have a minion, definitely.
Yeah, we've got a minion.
Morning.
Let's still give it a bit longer.
Yeah, we'll give it to 5 past, you say?
Yeah, 5 past because of traffic. We're talking about internet traffic.
Yes.
How's Danielle, Stephen? Is she? Because she seemed okay last night. Because yeah,
fine.
I can't. Yeah.
Know how he's done this.
Yeah.
I guess it's the frustration of not being able to run for a while. That's
It's a problem.
having to spend more time with you. Yeah,
that's even more of a problem.
Yeah.
Stephen, you can always run instead of her.
No, I walk.
We are unmuted now.
I can remember a time when Stephen did run.
Lasted about a week, Janet.
But away from you.
The Lake District, and Danielle was pregnant, I think 8 months pregnant with twins, and she was running.
Wow. I remember that.
Yeah, quite extraordinary.
Really?
Hello, Michael. Welcome.
Hi, Michael.
You're with the Liberal Synagogue, is that?
Oh, you're muted there, Michael.
Liberal Synagogue, Gale Street. Shul hopping for the morning.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. You're most welcome. Yeah.
Good to see you.
It is good to see
Well, welcome, Mike. It's Alan here.
Hi.
Nice to have you with us.
Yeah, I'm just I've seen a couple of familiar faces, let's say.
Good.
Okay, well, it's
good morning, Alan.
Who was that? Sorry.
Good morning, yeah. So is this how you communicate now, Alan and Janet?
Oh, it's the wisest thing after 12 weeks in lockdown. It's the only way to communicate.
Yeah, just being face to face. So, yeah.
Different devices.
Hi, Rosemary and Hannah. Hi there, Hannah.
My face on.
Sideways.
Oh, I think that. Hi there, Rosemary.
Rosemary, you just need to.
Rosemary, hello.
And Hannah. Hi, Hannah.
Yeah. What I've done is I've put the link up to the Torah reading in Hebrew and English for anyone who hasn't got a Chumash on them. That might be an easy way.
Perfect. I've got the Haftarah one here as well. I can share.
She looks as though she's competent with it.
There we go. That second one's the Haftarah.
Yeah, so basically you don't need your prayer books. It's quite good. Actually, this website's really good. Is it the same website?
So I took your website, I took the Safaria one and put it in a different document. That's all
right. Okay, all right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but that's good. It's quite, because it's got the Hebrew and English translation. I think it's very user friendly. Yeah, we've also got people on streaming at the moment.
Lovely.
So there's some people who aren't visible, but they can see and hear, just that we can't still hear them, but we don't actually know who's attending. But I know Maria Landau, hello Maria, did say, and it's a yacht site, that should be watching live streaming. So be careful what you say about other people who aren't here, because they still might be. Not that I would say anything bad about Maria, but it's kind of, as I say, we don't know exactly, but we've got 5 or 6 extra people who I know who are actually watching us.
Oh, fabulous. That's great.
Through the same viewing.
And we sometimes have Ron Collins, one of our members, who lives in Sri Lanka.
Wow.
So whether he's come in on this one, I don't know. Can we tell? Can you tell, Kevin, whether
No, I can never tell. You can't tell who's actually on the streaming, which is a bit unfortunate, because it'd be nice, especially if they've got a yacht site or we just want to say hello to them. So
yeah,
unfortunately, it's just something, just one of the unknowns. But it's quite good that for people who haven't got the technology, it's not easy to go to Zoom. It's just another means. The idea is to give as many people an opportunity to
Because I'm using the Hertz rather than Fontino, which chapter you're reading?
It's wonderful. Anna, would you like to explain?
We
Most
are
people like to know in
reading
advance.
11, 1 to 14. Numbers 11, 1 to 14. Let me double check I've got that right. Yes, yeah, I've got that right.
Numbers
11, 1 to 14.
Yes.
Excuse me.
That's right.
I think I'm going to wait to exactly 11.
Sounds good.
I'll sort of cut off point. We're not in so much of a hurry because we had the issue before of joint kiddish.
Yes, of
And
course.
we work both ways. Yeah, it's very difficult to get it spot on, and it actually did sometimes put pressure on. So at least we know we can work in our own time, and I don't think anyone's in a hurry to go out after the service. So it doesn't matter if it slightly overruns, but I think people do like to have their lunch or whatever reasonable time.
So everyone's ready for my 45-minute sermon then, right?
Oh, you take us to $50, won't you?
Well, exactly. Yeah. I learned a fun fact yesterday, which many of you might know, that it's actually Shavuot according to the Sadducees calendar, because there were the 2 ways of counting it, where it said you count from the Shabbat, and the Pharisees took that to mean that you count that from Pesach, but the Sadducees took that to mean you count that from the following Shabbat after Pesach. So we could, I'm sure we all studied all night last night, and we just have to carry our studying into the evening.
Of course. Yeah.
I've run out of cheesecake.
Oh man.
you have to make some more.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we start now? You ready, Anna?
Let's do it.
I don't think actually Anna needs an introduction sort of out of the room, because you've taken a few services for us before. But I'd say this is your final year, Anna, and I think you've done your dissertation.
That's right, yeah.
So hey, so when you're at that point of wow.
Yes.
I won't be calling you student mum by next time you come here, hope, please God.
Yeah, one more month. And we get confirmed.
So good luck with that. And obviously it's quite, it's like the marathon and you're on the kind of home straight. And I'm sure we're here when, I'm not saying when you had passed. And that's great. So as I say, Anna's taking the service. Joseph, are you ready? What I'm going to do, as usual, I'm going to mute everyone. And if Anna asks or requests a volunteer for prayer, then if you're able to unmute yourself, then go ahead and remember to mute again after you've said your prayer. But I think everyone knows the routine now. It's like, I feel like a bit like one of these air hostesses giving all the instructions that everyone knows already. So I'm going to mute everyone, and if Anna and Joseph can unmute themselves. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and enjoy the service.
Thank you. So we're starting on page 117 on service 3. Now, I've not led here before. I know that you're all pros at the Mosaic Liberal Zoom. What I love, and you might do already, but what I love to see is everybody singing along, because although we can't hear each other, we can see that wall of sound hitting the screen, and I can almost hear the voices. So please do join in with gusto when we're singing. And so 117, I will hand over to Joseph. ואני ברוב הסתך אבוא ביתך, אשתחווה אל היכל קודשך ביראתך. אדוני אהבתי מעון ביתך, ומקום משכן כבודך, ואני אשתחווה ואכרעה אברכה לפני אדוני עושי, ואני תפילתי לך, אדוני את רצון, אלוהים ברוב הסתך, אינני באמת אישך. Do we have someone that could read for us at the English at the bottom of 117? Give me a wave. Thank you, Hannah. Oh, you have to unmute.
Unmute, and let me do it for Hannah.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We thank you, O God, for this new day, for morning sun and evening star, for flowering of tree and flowing of tide, for life-giving rains and cooling breezes, for the changing seasons, for the cycle of growth and decay, of life and death. We awake, and behold a new day. O God, renew us unto life. Teach us to recognize your presence in creation. Grateful for your gifts, may we dedicate all our powers to your service.
Thank you. And we turn to page 118, and even when times are strange and sometimes quite hard, we still have a chance to recite our daily blessings. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokev kefufim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzrochi.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten la'ayef koach.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir sheina me'enai utnuma me'apapai. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam baruch hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechulal b'fi amo משובח ומפואר בלישון חסידיו ועבדיו. בשבחות ובזמירות נגדל לך ונמליכך מלכנו יחיד חי העולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מחולל בתשבחות. And the paragraph underneath, could someone please read for us in English or Hebrew? Thank you, Stephen.
With the coming of day and night, I will enter the covenant of God, and when evening and morning depart, I will recite God's decrees. God Most High, you are my righteousness. You teach me goodness. You are the fountain of knowledge, the dwelling place of holiness, and the summit of glory. Eternal might and majesty are yours. I will choose whatever you teach me, gladly accepting your judgments. As soon as I move my hands and feet, I will praise your name. When I go out and when I come in, when I lie down and when I rise up. When I rest on my bed, I will sing your praise, and in the company of my friends, I will praise you with the words of my mouth.
Thank you.
יום השבת טוב לך אדון אדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון להגיד בבוקר עשתך ואמונתך בלילות Adonai, before Lecha, Masay Yadecha, Aradim, Akalu, Masay Adonai, Me'od, Aku, Makshavotecha, Ismoshi, Leyom HaShabbat, Tov Lecha
Please do stand if you feel comfortable to do so. ישתבח שמך לעד מלכנו, האל המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ, כי לך נאה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, שהושבחה הלל וזמרה, ברכות והודאות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בשירי זמרה. We call each other to prayer with the words of the Baruch Hu on page 135. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzei or v'orei choshech, osei shalom uvorei et hakol, hame'er la'aretz, v'ladarim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo machadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit, ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam b'chochma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyanecha, תתברך אדוני אלוהינו על שבח מעשה ידיך ועל מאורי אור שעשית. יפרוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצא המורות. If there's someone that can read for us the passage underneath. Thank you, Alan. Oh, you're muted there. Let me unmute you. Oh, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truths of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching, make us faithful to your commandments, and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. We praise you, O God. In love you have called your people Israel to serve you.
Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'amo Yisrael b'yahava. Thank you, Alan. And so much more so now, I feel that we need Shabbat. As all the days can easily merge into one another, I certainly am craving for things that delineate time, and what better a system than Shabbat that is set there for us. And so I know that I've done it with you before, but more than ever, I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to pause. And so we're going to take the words of the Shema and we're going to drag out that tune just to center ourselves so we can pause in this moment of Shabbat. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shenantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shoch b'cha uv'kumecha uv'shatam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotefot bein einecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני, אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת ויציב וישר וקיים וטוב ויפה הדבר הזה עלינו לעולם ועד. אמת שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, מלכנו מלך אבותינו, יוצרנו צור ישועתנו, פודנו ומצילנו מעולם הוא שמך. אין אלוהים זולתך, אמת אתה הוא ראשון ואתה הוא אחרון, ומבלעדיך אין לנו מושיח. ממצרים גאלתנו אדוני אלוהינו, ומבית עבדים פדיתנו. משה ומרים ובני ישראל לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם. Hoseh,
Fele,
Elem,
Nohora,
Nora,
Tahilot,
Tahilot,
Hoseh,
Hoseh,
Fele, Shira Chadasha, Shibchuta Olim, Leshimcha Asfat Hayam, Yachad Kulam, Hoduchim Lichu,
Adonai,
Yemloch,
Yimloch,
Leolam,
Leolam,
Va'ed,
Va'ed,
Adonai,
Adonai,
Yemloch,
Yimloch,
Leolam,
Leolam.
Va'ed. So Yisrael, Kuma Be'ezrat Yisrael, Go Aleinu, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Return to the Amidah on page 140. This tune is it's very repetitive, so if it's not yet familiar, then I hope soon it will become familiar, and do join in if you know it and once you know it. Ooh, ooh, Adonai, safavtai tivtach, ufi agid, tehilatecha. Adonai, safavtai tivtach, ufi agid, tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Koneh Hakol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot ve'Imahot, U'Mevig Ula Livnei v'Neihem, Lema'an Shemo b'Yahava, Melech Ozeh u'Moshir Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Etzrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מחמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. לקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדשים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, אלוקי
כבודו מלא עולם.
Baruch kavod Adonai ממקומו.
ממקומך מלכנו תופיע ותמלוך עלינו, כי מחכים אנחנו לך.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לטוב אדום, הללויה.
לדור ודור נגיד גודלך ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נכתיב, בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. And if there is someone who'd feel comfortable to read at the bottom of page 142. Oh, thank you, George. Be able to unmute yourself. Fabulous, thank you.
Okay. You inspired our ancestors to hallow this day for your service. When upon its coming, we pause to contemplate our life. We learn anew that we do not live by bread alone, but also by the spiritual nourishment we receive when we open ourselves to your influence. We thank you for the Sabbath day and for the opportunity it offers to enhance the quality of our lives. We thank you for its joy and for its peace. May our worship help us to take into our hearts its message of holiness and consecrate all our days by devotion to what is true, beautiful, and good.
Thank you.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, קוראי עונג. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, קוראי עונג.
And if someone could please read for us on page 143 in the English. Putting you all on the spot here. Thank you, Lindsay. You're able to unmute yourself there. Perfect.
And God of our ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, eternal one, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts. And may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath.
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Thank you. תצא אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל, ותפילתם באהבה תקבל, ותהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל עמך. ברוך אתה אדוני, שאותך לבדך ביראה נעבוד. מודים אנחנו לך, שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן אישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך, על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות. We'll have some moments of quiet prayer. And before we sing or say shalom, returning to the tune that we heard at the beginning of the Amidah, we'll have a moment for prayers for healing. And at the moment, I know we're thinking of Connie, who's in hospital in Germany at the moment, the daughter of Maria, who's watching us on the stream, and also Kevin's friend Rania. And I'm going to give a moment for if anyone's thinking of someone at this time who needs healing of the goof of the body or healing of the nefesh of the soul, please do unmute yourself and say their name. Or of course, in this strange reality, you can type that name in the chat box if you prefer.
my cousin Nicola and her husband Mel.
Nicola and Mel.
Jeanette Schindler.
Jeanette Schindler.
Jeff Wolfe, the son of our former members Ruth and Eddie Wolfe.
Jeff Wolfe. For them and for all those who are unwell, we say, God of compassion, grant courage and strength to those who are ill, compassion and skill to their physicians and carers. May your loving presence always be with those who are ill, comforting and sustaining them and their loved ones who support them in their time of need. Faithful healer, send a refuah shlema, a perfect healing to all who are ill, a healing of the body and a healing of the soul, so that they may be quickly restored to complete health and a full life. You are ever near them in the healing powers that work within them. Give us all, we pray, trust in your love, confidence in ourselves, and hope for the future. Rfa'enu Adonai v'nerafe, Hoshi'enu v'nevashea ki rofe ne'aman v'rachaman ata, Baruch ata Adonai, rofe hacholim. Heal us, Eternal One, and we shall be healed. Save us, and we shall be saved. For you are a faithful and compassionate healer. We bless you, Eternal One, healer of the sick. Ooh, 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 Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol b'nei Adam. Ooh, 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 And we will turn now to page 296 for this week's theme, which I think very appropriately, considering what's going on in the news and in America, but of course, all over the world, really. The theme this week is prejudice. Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman he had married. We're all inclined to make assumptions and cling to them because it is more comfortable to go on believing that we are accustomed to believe than to think afresh. And when we come up against contrary evidence, we tend to dismiss it and say, I've made up my mind, don't confuse me with facts. Most dangerous are the assumptions we make about people, especially those who differ from us in the way they look or speak or dress or behave, or in the religious or political views they hold. It is so easy to make and easier to assent to unfavorable generalizations about them. We Jews have often been victims of such stereotyping. How careful we should therefore be not to commit the same sin against others. Is there someone who'd be happy to do the italics with me responsively? Thank you, Kevin. You shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the heart of a stranger, since you were strangers in the land of Egypt.
The strangers who live with you shall be to you like the natives among you, and you shall love them as yourself.
Are you not like the Ethiopians to me, O people of Israel?
Have we not all one maker? Has not one God created us?
Never judge others until you have been in their position.
and always judge them charitably.
Despise no one and consider nothing useless, for there is no person whose hour does not come, and no thing that does not have its place.
This next bit is really resonates on me. So I'll be reading this from the heart. Oh God, keep us from seeing only black and white in a world of many colours. Do not let us imagine that we are children of light, while others are children of darkness. Teach us to see ourselves in every face, to hear the human spirit in every voice. Keep us from making distinctions that are of no significance, from judgment that serve only ourselves, and from the urge to rise by our neighbour's fall. From prejudice, preserve us, from hatred, redeem us, and from self-righteousness, defend us.
Thank you. We'll continue reading this next text to ourselves. Joseph, would you be happy to read the italics of the next bit?
Sure.
Where there is ignorance and superstition.
Let there be enlightenment and knowledge.
Where there is prejudice and hatred.
Let there be acceptance and love.
Where there is fear and suspicion.
Let there be confidence and trust.
Where there is tyranny and oppression.
Let there be freedom and justice.
Where there is poverty and disease.
Let there be prosperity and health.
Where there is strife and discord.
Let there be harmony and peace.
Thank you. So we will turn now to page, I was going to say 481, but actually we will turn to page 483 and just prepare ourselves there, because in the absence of an ark and a Torah, if it's okay with you, I thought instead of doing the full Torah service and indeed the blessing on the Torah, we'll instead do the study passage for the prayer for study before we read the Torah, or before we read the text of the Torah. So that is Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam La'asok B'divrei Torah. Torah, indeed. And we are reading from Numbers 1. No, that's not true. We're reading from, I have it just here, Numbers 11, 1 to 14. There we go. And in this parasha, in Baha'alotcha, so much is going on. Often Numbers isn't the most interesting book because there's just numbers, there's just a census and lots of people getting counted and all the generations, that somehow packed into this one parasha and many stories and many themes. And we just read the theme of prejudice, and that comes from a story that happened later than the part that we're reading, about where Miriam is gossiping with Aaron, or Aaron is gossiping with Miriam. Miriam gets the blame for this, but there's a whole other conversation there about who's accountable, and Miriam's gossiping with Aaron. They're talking about the wife that Moses married and how she is not an Israelite. And then in punishment, God strikes her with a skin disease. It's often translated as leprosy, but it's actually not really leprosy, but it's kind of scales on her skin and wounds. And Moses prays to God, asking for her to be healed. And she has to leave the camp for 7 days, and then is indeed healed. We also have this section that we're going to read where the people are complaining, they're tired, they are probably scared, they've come out of slavery and they're wandering the desert and they don't know what's going on, and all this food that they knew and loved from Egypt that was just there on a plate, it came at a great price, but at least they were fed with food that they liked. Suddenly it's not there anymore and they have to make do with manna, so they're complaining and they're upset. And Moses says, God is very cross that the Israelites are upset and sends a fire. So Moses once again has to pray and asks God to put down the fire. And then God is still not happy. He still does not like, or God still does not like the Israelites complaining. And so again, in a bit that we're not reading, because they're begging for meat so much, God sends so much quail that it's impossible for them to eat it. And suddenly there's this quite grotesque scene of the Israelites being surrounded by what would be the rotting quail's meat, as if God's kind of saying, well, that'll teach you, be careful what you wish for. So there's all these different parts going on, and I'll try and wrap them up afterwards in a sermon I've written that is mostly sticking with this theme of prejudice and of course what's been going on in the news this past couple of weeks as we look over to America, but remember what's going on here for us in England as well. But first we will read the passage of the Torah. The text has been shared in the chat box. For those of you who've just come in, I'll just reshare it so that it's there for you as well, if you want to read along. And I'll be doing first the Hebrew and then the English line by line. Vayehi ha'am kemit onanim ra ba'oznei Adonai v'yisma Adonai v'yicha apo v'tiv'a bam esh Adonai v'tochal b'ktse hamachane. The people took to complaining bitterly before God. God heard and was incensed. A fire of the Eternal broke out against them, ravaging the outskirts of the camp. Vayitzak ha'am el Moshe v'yitpalel Moshe el Adonai v'tishka ha'esh. The people cried out to Moses. Moses prayed to God, and the fire died down. V'yikra Shem hamakom hahu Tavera, ki ba'ara vam esh Adonai. That place was named Tabera because a fire of God had broken out against them. V'hasafsuf asher b'kirbo hit av'u ta'ava v'yashuvu v'yivku gam b'nei Yisrael v'yomru mi ya'achilenu basar. I love this translation. The riffraff in their midst felt gluttonous cravings. And then the Israelites wept and said, if only we had meat to eat. Dachanu et hadaga asher nochal b'mitzrayim hinam, et hakishuim ve'et ha'avatichim ve'et hechatzir ve'et habatsalim ve'et hashumim. We remember the fish that we used to eat free in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons or the watermelons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. Va'ata nafshenu v'yevesha ein kol bilti el haman einenu. Now our gullets are shriveled. There is nothing at all, nothing but this manna to look to. V'haman kizra gad hu ve'eino ke'ein Habdolach. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and in color it was like bdellium. Shtu ha'am velachtu, v'tachanu varechachim o dacho bamdocha, uvishlu בפרו ועשו אותו עוגות, והיה תמו כטעם לשד השמן. The people would go about and gather it, grind it between millstones, or pound it in a mortar, boil it in a pot, and make it into cakes. It tasted like rich cream. Uvredet hatal al hamachane laila yered haman alav. When the dew fell on the camp at night, the manna would fall upon it. Vayishma Moshe et ha'am boche lemishpochotav ish lefetach ohalo. Vayicha af Adonai me'od uveinei Moshe ra. Moses heard the people weeping, every clan apart, each person at the entrance of his tent. God was very angry, and Moses was distressed. V'yomer Moshe el Adonai, lama chareota la'avdecha, v'lama lo matzati chen be'enecha, lasum et masa kol ha'am hazeh alai. And Moses said to God, why have you dealt ill with your servant, and why have I not enjoyed your favor, that you have laid the burden of all this people on me? Anochi hariti et kol ha'am hazeh, im anochi yelidtihu ki toma elai, she'enhu sa'ehu b'cheikecha, ka'asher yisa ha'oman et hayonek al ha'adama, asher nishbata la'avotav. Did I conceive all this people? Did I bear them that you should say to me, carry them in your bosom as a nurse carries an infant, to the land that you have promised, an oath to their ancestors? Me'ein li basar latet lechol ha'am hazeh, ki yivku alai lemor, tanu lanu basar v'nochela. Where am I meant to get meat to give to all this people, when they whine before me and say, give us meat to eat? Lo ochal anochi levadi laset et kol ha'am hazeh, ki chaved mimeni. I cannot carry all this people by myself, for it is too much for me. And we'll turn now to page 483. And I believe Lindsay is going to read the Haftarah for us, which is Zechariah. And the text of that is also in the chat.
Okay, well, it won't be Lindsay today, it will be me. So.
Oh, sorry, Adrian.
That's okay. No apologies necessary. I'll be reading Zechariah chapter 2, verses 14 through to chapter 4, the end of verse 7. Zechariah was a contemporary of Haggai and was living in the Persian Empire after the fall of the first temple, and he's quite concerned with as a first step to doing anything was the rebuilding of the temple, and this section really deals with that. It can be found in the Sonshino on page 857, in the JPSA Tanakh, which I'll be reading from on 1084. Rosemary, apologies, I've no idea what page it is in the Hertz.
And you can always click on the link as well if you haven't got the prayer book.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim, v'ratzah v'divreihem, hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'Torah, u'v'Moshe avdo, u'v'Yisrael amo, u'm'nvi'ei ha'emet b'tzedek. Shout for joy, fair Zion, for lo, I come, and I will dwell in your midst, declares the Lord. In that day, many nations will attach themselves to the Lord and become his people, and he will dwell in your midst. Then you will know that I was sent to you by the Lord of hosts. The Lord will take Judah to himself as his portion in the Holy Land, and he will choose Jerusalem once more. Be silent, all flesh, before the Lord, for he is roused from his holy habitation. He further showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord, and the accuser standing at his right to accuse him. But the angel of the Lord said to the accuser, "The Lord rebuke you, O accuser. May the Lord who has chosen Jerusalem rebuke you, for this is a brand plucked from the fire." Now Joshua was clothed in filthy garments when he stood before the angel. The latter spoke up and said to his attendants, "Take the filthy garments off him." And he said to him, "See, I have removed your guilt from you, and you shall be clothed in priestly robes." Then he gave the order, "Let a pure diadem be placed on his head." And they placed the pure diadem on his head and clothed him in priestly garments, as the angel of the Lord stood by. And the angel of the Lord charged Joshua as follows, "Thus said the Lord of hosts, if you walk in my paths and keep my charge, you in turn will rule my house and guard my courts, and I will permit you to move about among these attendants. Hearken well, O high priest Joshua, you and your fellow priests sitting before you, for those men are a sign that I am going to bring my servants, the branch. For mark well this stone, which I will place before Joshua, a single stone with 7 eyes. I will execute its engraving, declares the Lord of hosts, and I will remove that country's guilt in a single day. In that day, declares the Lord of hosts, you will be inviting each other to the shade of vines and fig trees." The angel who talked with me came back and woke me as a man is wakened from sleep. He said to me, "What do you see?" And I answered, "I see a lampstand all of gold with a bowl above it. The lamps on it are 7 in number, and the lamps above it have 7 pipes, and by it are 2 olive trees, one to the right of the bowl and one on its left." I in turn asked the angel who talked with me, "What do those things mean, my Lord?" "Do you not know what these things mean?" asked the angel who talked with me, and I said, "No, my Lord." Then he explained to me as follows. "This is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Whoever you are, O great mountain in the path of Zerubbabel, turn into level ground, for he shall produce that excellent stone. It shall be greeted with shouts of beautiful, beautiful. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Sur kol haolamim, Sadik b'chol hadarot, Ha'el ha'ne'eman, Ha'omer v'oseh, Ha'medaber u'mekayem shechol devarav emet v'tzedek. Al ha'torah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al ha'neviim, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, Shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, Likdusha v'limnucha, L'chavod ultifaret, Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, Anachnu modim lach. Mvarachim otach, Yitbarach shimcha b'fi kol chai, Tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Makadesh HaShabbat.
Shekoyach.
Shekoyach, thank you. And now to the congregational blessings are on page 484. And could I invite somebody to read the first blessing for us? Thank you, Alison. You have to unmute yourself.
Alison, I'll unmute you. I'll do it for you, if I can. I can't see. There we are.
Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign lady, Queen Elizabeth, and all the royal family, for those who govern our country, and all those who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Is there someone who can read the next one for us? Oh, sorry, Alison. I muted you there. Were you saying something? I still can't hear you. You want to unmute yourself there?
Do you want me to do the next one?
Shall we pass it on for another voice?
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely, thank you. Is there someone who'd like to do the next one for us? Amazing, thank you, Lindsay. You have to, perfect.
Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members, and all who enter this synagogue to meet, to study, and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us, and heal those in anxiety or pain. May we all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage, and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the house of Israel throughout the world. Let those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed, and may we all unite to witness to your truth and do your will.
Thank you. And the final one, is there someone that can read that one for us?
Pat has her hand up.
Thank you, Pat.
Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbors, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. And we'll turn to page 489.
Hashivenu, yeah.
So although the theme of prejudice focused on the story of Miriam and Aaron calling Moses's wife names. As I saw the news this week and the coronavirus being pushed from our news channels and being replaced with those horrific images of police brutality and the murder of George Floyd, and of course the protests that followed, I couldn't help but read even our section that we read today of this week's parasha with those narratives running through my mind. So here we have the Israelite people, a nation that was forced into slavery to be freed into another power, God, and that nation being led by Moses. And in our parasha today, the Israelites are hungry and they're tired from the long journey. They're trying to establish what their new life out of slavery means in a context where they're still not really free. They've not reached their land yet. And God reacts in anger, and Moses feels helpless to do that task of liberation alone. We're now 2 centuries after the abolition of slavery, of legal slavery, and only a matter of decades since the civil rights movement. And yet people of color are still having to live in a world where the structures are not built for their success. What's more, when they cry out and protest, the powers that be send fire and chastise. In our parasha, Moses is tired and feels the burden of his people and the weight of God on his shoulders. He hears the cries and he too feels their pain. He constantly has to act as mediator between his people and God, and he cries out that he cannot take on the burden alone. In a week where social media news feeds have been showered with content begging white people and white presenting people to check their privilege and use that privilege to be allies and speak up in the movement for freedom, I couldn't help but see Moses cry, "This is too much for me," in the voices of those books and articles and videos. And some of you may have read, because it was sent out through Leo Beck and also sent out through the other community I work with, Beit Klal Yisrael. I wrote a statement this week. And in that statement, I said, many times throughout Jewish tradition, we're implored to pursue justice and to stand with those who have had their voices taken from them. As we watch the protests, riots, and uprisings in America, there are things I feel we must remember in order to fulfill this duty of pursuing justice. Andre Nair writes that according to rabbinic commentary on the building of the Tower of Babel, if somebody fell and died, then nobody would pay attention to it. But if a brick fell, they would sit and cry and say, whenever shall we erect another one in its place? That's from Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer 24. Whilst many of the acts of vandalism seen in the protests of America are unwanted by the movement and from fringe protesters, what we are witnessing is the bricks of the tower falling. Do we respond by sitting and crying for the bricks and mortar, or do we look at the lives lost that have brought us to this place? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote in the LA Sunday Times, "I don't want to see stores looted or even buildings burn, but African Americans have been living in burning buildings for many years, choking on the smoke as the flames burn closer and closer. Riots are the shouting that happens when the whispering, talking, and reasoned speech has not been heard. It is our duty to be part of making the change." As we look overseas at the unrest in America, let us not think that the UK is innocent. Here too, we see the same systems of oppression, institutionalized racism, and white rule. Here too, we see the ways in which people of color have to fight twice as hard to go just as far. Our police have killed too, and just like in the States, people in the UK have died for the crime of being Black. It is not enough for us to stand in shock. We must act, we must learn, we must check our privilege, and we must campaign. We must be part of the change. There are many resources being circulated to help us do the work of dismantling a system that marginalizes and oppresses. As Jews with a responsibility to seek justice, it is our duty to do that work, to discover how we might be part of the problem, and to use our privilege to fight to be part of the solution. Twice in this week's parasha, Moses prays to God. First, to ask God to stop the fire, and then, in the part we didn't read, to cure his sister Miriam of the skin disease that she was punished with. As we pray for a post-COVID-19 normality, let us not pray to go back to what was. Rather, let's be part of making the choice of creating a world that is more equal for all. There's a lot of work to be done, and Moses cannot do the work alone. Let's be allies, let's use our voices, let's learn, let's educate, and let's be part of the journey to freedom. In support of the movement and support of justice, Black Lives Matter, and Tzedek Tzedek Tirdof. Justice, justice, you shall pursue. And in, I wouldn't normally invite conversation and comment, but since the age of Zoom services, I think there's always nice to have opportunities for people to speak to each other. So I wonder if people have any thoughts or any input that they want to add, please feel free to share, again, either in the text box or feel free to unmute yourself and we can open the conversation for a few minutes.
I think I would just say thank you. This is such a difficult, the Torah portion at any time is difficult. I always find this part of the the cycle of prayers the hardest, but thank you first of all putting it all into context with what's actually happening. And you're right, it's not just a case of watching it on television and sort of shaking your head like we do. It's kind of even small. I'm not saying we should all go out and protest and put yourself at risk, but maybe we still hear it, stand up if you hear of any prejudice, or just make small steps just for kind of some kind of justice. Rosemary.
Black people always have a much harder time because, you know, you can, as compared to Jews, whereas a lot of people, you know, would not know that you were Jewish. So blacks will always have, I think, a harder time, say, than Jews.
I just wanted to add, just during the lockdown, at the very, not much, maybe a few weeks into the lockdown, my son was had to drop some items to his son, who doesn't live with him. And whilst he was on his way, literally, he was swooped down by a police force, and he was searched, and they couldn't find anything, obviously. And so what they did was they were adamant. This was during the lockdown when, you know, everything was quiet. And this just happened, just a few weeks ago. And there was in 2012, there was a fine that wasn't cleared. It was a small amount, I can't remember what happened. And they put him in a cell. And he was there overnight. And they put him into a online court. And then they just realized that they couldn't find whatever they thought was there. And they released him the next day. And we were absolutely just livid about it. His father lives in America, and he said even the most awful crimes that people have done, they would not put anyone in a cell for, you know. So it just kind of highlighted just this whole, you know, we've had problems over the years, you know, as Rosemary said, you know, that person. But it was the fact that it was during the lockdown. It was, you know, with the COVID and everything. I mean, I couldn't sleep that night, just worrying for him in that cell. And in the end, it wasn't. I don't think something about the fine wasn't actually a fine, you know. But they were able to do that, and it was so painful.
It's so traumatic and really painful. And I feel so often we can feel helpless in these situations, and when we watch the fight that's happening, or a fight isn't the right word, it makes it sound much more negative, but when we watch kind of the surge for hope of change, we'll use those words, I'll find something better, we can often think, well, what can I do? And particularly as we can't go out at the moment, and it can be dangerous to go out and protest, and that might not be the way that we want to express help anyway. But lots of resources have been put together to help people help the cause. And I'm going to put in the chat box, there's a whole range of things, books, podcasts, films to watch, and there's also a couple of websites talking about Jews of colour and how to just be part of making this change. So I'll put those in the chat box for people to go through whenever they feel like they would like to go through. And we'll move at this point to the concluding prayers in the service. Of course, the Aleinu is our prayer for a hope of a better future. And we'll find that on page 520.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומשל יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו ואין עוד, מפלגנו ופסולתו, ככתוב בתורתה. ידעת היום השמות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מטפת לילות.
Now for a alternative second paragraph written by Rabbi Howard Cooper. We are the heirs of a great and gifted nation, inheritors of riches that cannot be counted. We are the descendants of a people who wrestled with the divine in order to discover the secrets of human life on earth. We are the recipients of a wisdom as deep as the ocean, as broad as the heavens, as precious as life itself. We are a people who have both known tragedy and glory, and survived both. We have been crowned with a task and have not abandoned our duty to fulfill that task, that destiny with every fibre of our being. This is a miracle. We speak of it with awe. We are still committed to the fulfillment of our impossible task, the repair of the world and the redemption of the one who was and is and will be hidden in creation, hidden in us, waiting to be made whole again. On that day, the eternal will become one again and known as one. And we'll return to the last lines on page 521. So sorry, as I rushed into the Aleinu, I realized I forgot the Mosaic tradition of your sermon anthem. I did not want to silence you, Joseph. Strange is our situation here upon earth. Each of us comes for a short visit, not knowing why, yet sometimes seeming to divine a purpose. From the standpoint of daily life, however, there is one thing we do know, that we are here for the sake of others, above all for those on whose smile and well-being our happiness depends, and also for the countless unknown souls with whose fate we are connected by a bond of sympathy. Many times a day I realize how much my own outer and inner life is built upon the labors of others, both living and dead, and how earnestly I must exert myself in order to give in return as much as I have received and am still receiving. That was Albert Einstein. And today we remember Stephen Jacob, the husband of Helen Jacob, Leslie Landau, the father-in-law of Marie Landau, Harvey Liff, the husband of Barbara Liff,
Hilary Scott, the wife of Aubrey Scott. And I'll leave a moment if anyone's remembering somebody at this time before we read Kaddish, please do say their name, or of course write it in the group. We say together with all those who mourn the words of the Kaddish on page 524. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, v'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mavarach le'olam ol almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitnoman v'yitnasei, v'yithada v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei tkusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, Diamiran bi'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlam el Rabba min Shemayel, v'chaim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'momav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael ve'el kol b'nei Adam v'imru amen.
It's now the announcement time. I've got a bit of a lump in my throat. I found that very emotional, just the theme of it, and how you put into context what is a difficult reading at a very difficult time for all of us. And then obviously the extra kind of thing going on. I'm just saying thank you for giving us a reality check with the whole picture. And also, it was sometimes links between Torah readings and what's going on is very tenuous. But I think there was nothing tenuous about this. This is kind of direct, and it's quite interesting. What happened in biblical times is kind of happening today. So I'm still trying to absorb it all. That's why I'm a little bit kind of tongue-tied at the moment. But thank you, Anna. It's been absolutely wonderful service. It really has. It's been inspirational and moving. And I'm really grateful that you've been able to join us. I know you're a busy lady with, obviously finishing your course. And I know you've got commitments with other synagogues. But we really hope, even with our interim appointment, there will be opportunities for you to come back. And hopefully you'll be able to fit us in. Otherwise, I'll see you at Barnet, Notts County if we ever get to play again.
Yes, no, I hope to be back for sure.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And also thank you. It kind of worries me when we have two talented musicians in the same room, because they could, given the technology, you can't actually work together at the same time. But I'm sort of grateful how you coordinated both your talents. You obviously planned it very well, which also helped inspire us. So thank you to Joseph as well as Anna. Moving ahead, tomorrow afternoon, this should be something really good. I really recommend this. Rabbi Rachel, our rabbi to be Rachel, will be having a sing-along on, well, not really a sing-along, she'll be singing, we'll be singing in the background. It's tomorrow at 4 p.m. The Zoom details are on the newsletter. I really recommend it. I was with her for a trial run. She's got it really, really polished. I absolutely recommend it. Again, there's a bit of everything. There's some kind of ballady stuff and some up-tempo. And I think this will lift us again. So that's tomorrow at 4 p.m. We are in discussions about the High Holy Days. Just bear with us. These are very, very difficult times to know exactly what to do. But this week, there's going to be some serious discussions. And as soon as we do know something, or we do come to a decision, we'll let you know. But these need to be carefully thought out. Normally at this stage, I think the OMP committee are planning on all the schlepping and everything, even now. But it's different circumstances. Friday, it will be hosting, Gwendolyn will be hosting the service with the reform. It's actually working now where we're getting equal numbers from both. It's not a case of, this is reform, this is a liberal service. It's just different leaders. And we've found a way of incorporating both kind of aspects of it. So it's this Friday. Again, the logging in details will be on the newsletter. And next Shabbat, we've got our Rabbi Rachel. And we're thinking of trying something different. I won't say anything more, but Joseph's aware we are thinking of trying something different. But watch this space. I really got, if it works, it's good. Adrian?
Yes, I just something I'd like to add about your coverage of the what could possibly happen over the High Holy Days is that there was the Mosaic Reform. Our noisy downstairs neighbours have informed me that they are definitely only holding Zoom services over the High Holy Days. So just marking everybody's card.
Yeah. It is very unlikely, very, very, very unlikely that we're going to do something different to that. We'll be working around this kind of platform. It's a case of how we're going to manage it. But we need to discuss, we need to find what LJ directives are, what the feelings are amongst the RMP committee. But Reform have made that decision before us, but
yeah, this is an ideal opportunity come given the Zoom technology to cooperate with Elstree and to cooperate over this period with Mosaic Reform, and we can come up with some exciting new things that we can do. It doesn't just have to be about services. We can have less services perhaps, and more stuff where people get together and discuss. So it's all up for grabs.
It's all up for, so we are having a meeting, and ironically, as we've got a guest here from Elstree as well, Michael.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Michael. And it's just ironic that Rachel was booked to take their services before we engaged with her, but this, who knows, there may be a way of working together. We don't know, but we're also trying a few new music ideas as well, because that is the most complicated thing. There's technology that we can actually have a choir, virtual choir that is, and it can work together, but this is we're all at the experimental stage. So bear with us. Meanwhile, we're coming on, and we've got Maisie in the room as well. Shabbat Shalom, Maisie.
Causing havoc behind me, so I thought I'd hold her hostage.
Okay, so, and as I say, Rachel, we're looking to try something different for next Shabbat. I'm not, as I said, not sure exactly how it's going to work. If it doesn't work, we're trying groundbreaking things, so bear with us, but we need to look into this. And it's all very well having practices from your living room. It's actually what happens in this virtual space. The other thing that I can see in the chat area, there's a lot of good reading material. Once this service is ended, the chat will disappear. So if there's anything there that you feel might be of interest, kind of cut and paste and put in your bookmarks or something, because probably in about 15 minutes it won't be there. Or you can always ask Anna to resend it, but whilst it's here, it'll be a good opportunity to try and sort of get some kind of notes. That's me done for announcements. Anybody else got anything they would like to add or announce? Nope. So what are we finishing up with?
I think we'll finish with Adon Alam. I think we'll play it straight.
Yeah, I've heard it. I know that one. We've done it once or twice before, haven't we?
I was just going to suggest perhaps the list of resources could be shared in next week's email. Maybe if Anna shares it with someone and then we can include it in the email. That would be a nice thing. So
yeah, that would be a good idea. Yes.
Seen by everyone. So Adon Alam, page 525.
Shalom.
Baruch Shabbat Shalom. Sorry, I was going to say on page 529, Baruch atah b'voecha uvaruch atah b'tzeitecha, Adonai yishmor tzeitecha uvoecha me'atah v'ad olam. Blessed may you be when you come in, and blessed may you be when you go out. May the Eternal One guard your going out and your coming in now and always. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you again, Anna. Feel free to unmute yourself for the joint Kiddush. At this time, it doesn't matter if we're out of sync at this stage, so I'll let you decide whether you want to be muted or unmuted.
We enjoy the cacophony of sound. If you have your Kiddush things around you, then grab them. I'm going to need someone to wave some bread for me when we get there, because somehow my house is breadless.
Stephen will be doing Hamotzi for us.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you. And we're on page 566, if you want to read along. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael la'asot et ha'shabbat b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam
v'shamru b'nei Yisrael Shabbat l'Torah Brit Olam
Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim et haaretz
b'nei Yisrael et hashabat l'Torah Brit Olam
Uvayom hashvi kavat v'yinafash
Shavat v'yinafash
kavat v'yinafash
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat
Torah Brit Olam. Amazing. Baruch atah Adonai Olam Borei Peri
Amen.
I think that is a reminder on why we do mute people.
That's very harsh. I heard about this joint Kiddush and I wondered where the joint was.
Well, Dad, you were like Captain Jones at Dad's Army, you know, the one who was late with the you were that far behind.
Yeah, Anna, well done for getting another onomatopoeic word in this morning, not just Hassasoof the rabble, but cacophony, which it truly was.
I would say Rick, that word you used in the Torah translation.
Oh, the rabble.
Oh, the rabble.
Stephen, would you like to do Hamotzi for us?
And can we have? We're not going to mute everyone, but can we let Stephen do this solo? I think.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Stephen, how is Danielle?
She's fine, recovering slowly. And she was at the service last night, Kevin. I think you saw her.
Yes, that's right. Yes,
fine. It's just a slow recovery process. Got another hospital appointment next week.
Okay.
Good. Well, send her all our best.
Thank you very much.
Mika, look who we've got in the room with Joseph. Mika.
No.
Hello, Mika.
Yeah.
Mika,
Oh,
where is the
somehow
tortoise?
my headphones, but she's
Yeah,
waving.
we
Mika,
want
show
Toby.
us the tortoise.
Hello. All tortoises
We
are-
want Toby. We
Yeah.
want Toby.
I have to install a webcam in his
Those
camera.
would make Toby in the background next when he leaves the service next time.
From Tortoise.
He's a very wise tortoise. He taught us a lot.
Oh, Daniel. Oh.
Daniel,
Very
very
good,
good.
Daniel. Very good.
Can I ask Michael a question in front of all these people? Is OS doing services in a similar format? How?
Actually, we're doing ours basically just on Facebook Live, and it's a bit of a like watching a television show, I'd say.
Yes.
We don't have the interactive stuff that we have on these services. That's my feeling, and I do like this more interactive setup.
Yeah, because you're literally just watching it, and you can watch it any time as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
You can sort of
Welcome anytime.
Yeah, we can watch the previous services, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna go. So
okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. Well done.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much.
We look forward
Thank
to your
you for a
return.
lovely service.
I look forward to coming back. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Have a lovely weekend.
Shalom.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Done.
Bye.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom from the Solomons.
Shabbat
Okay,
Shalom.
take care. You're in the same room, Alan and Janet. I noticed that you're in separate rooms.
Yeah, it won't last long because I've got to go and get lunch.
Oh, wow.
I'll see you tomorrow afternoon, Kev.
Oh, yeah, for the sing along. But I really reckon that is going to be really something special.
Yeah,
That really
looking
will
forward
be.
to it.
Yeah,
Right.
but,
And I'll also see you Monday.
I'll have a meeting.
Never
I'll see you
mind.
Wednesday. I've lose track on who I'm seeing what days and who's zooming who.
Enjoy tomorrow morning without me.
Oh.
What's happening tomorrow morning?
Nothing. That's why it'll be without me.
Oh,
I'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Bye, everybody. Have
Bye.
a good
Bye.
Bye.
Alison, how's your mother doing?
She's fine. She's doing very well. I mean, you know, but
Does she have access to technology at all? Or
she doesn't like Zoom that much. You know,
yeah.
know what we can do, but
Listen, she survived 90 odd years without technology, and now suddenly it's kind of been, well, it's a shame.
she's got technology. She can have Zoom, but she doesn't like it. I don't know.
Well, this is it. Can she go through the live streaming perhaps? I'm just thinking, you know, there's the live streaming.
Yeah, well,
It's
I've
more-
asked her about that, but I'll send her your best wishes.
Yeah, and so tell her I'm missing her. I'm missing the
Yeah.
hug and all that.
Yeah.
Especially
Kevin.
all that.
Kevin, I must say that I'm sorry I missed the annual general meeting.
Oh, don't worry about it. It was we call it an annual general moan. Yeah, that's what and I've got Michael listening in.
So, we're going to probably have the High Holy Days on Zoom.
Almost, we haven't decided. It's not. It is the problem. If we even be able to have it in a building, the difficulty is not everyone would be allowed to attend for health reasons. So then we've got two services going on. It's like the haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
So I don't think that gives a good message.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we're allowed to, I think it's going to be problematic. We haven't decided yet, but you can see what way our thoughts are going. Out of interest, Michael, have you come to any decisions?
Not yet. We've got the same discussions going on, and we've been looking at some sort of how we don't know how we're going to do it. We got exactly the same thing, that not everyone will be able to get. We won't be able to get everyone into a service in the building because of any social distancing going on still.
Yeah.
And then how do you get something that works for both the people who are there and the people who aren't there?
Exactly. And again, I don't think, I wouldn't like it if it says, oh, if I see people in the building, I'm not allowed. I think we all should be equal, have the equal opportunity to experience
You can
it.
at least point the camera or whatever at the sort of arc. So you're not looking at who's been allowed into the building.
Yeah, I suppose that's
the starting point.
Which synagogue are you from, Michael? I didn't quite.
You're soon to be close neighbours, the Liberal Synagogue, Elstree.
Oh, Elstree. Oh.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of discussions going on. I do hear about it. I'm not actually part of that committee, so I'm aware. So that.
Yeah, I'm a trustee at Elstree.
Right. So, well, I think these that our communities have to work together, regardless.
Yeah.
And especially obviously now with the geography, we're coming closer to you. And
yes.
I think I'd like to think we can work together as opposed to thinking.
And one of the things is, because of where she lives, we've used your incoming rabbi quite a lot as a stand-in when Pete's not around.
Of course.
Because she lives near us, very, very near.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Yeah, on the doorstep. So, and there's no harm about having a foot in both camps. In fact, it's quite handy if we've got her on board because she's got a link with yourselves. So,
yeah.
And I will share this with you. One of the ideas I'm going to come up with special Rachel's going to be at this meeting we're having this week, is that if we could do anything collaboratively, even for the High Holy Days, if that's a possibility.
It's a possibility that's been mentioned.
Yeah,
from Elstree side of doing something with other communities.
Not just us and there might be other smaller communities that would find this really difficult.
Just we know we're going to have a part is going to have to be still online. Whatever we do, there's going to at least be part online, and people aren't going to sit there and watch a service for sort of 3 hours online.
No, it's not. It's hard. I think it's hard in the building sometimes, but when you're online, there's a strain of having 3 hours online. And for the service leader, I mean, I know if you're fasting, Yom Kippur, it's a long service, you're fasting and you're concentrating on the Zoom elements.
Yeah.
How grueling is that? And I think they're looking at truncating it, but even with a truncated service, that is going to be hard work.
We're looking at, we haven't decided yet, but it's going to be things like bits of 1 hour and then something will change or somewhat. And there's definitely been talk across sort of the liberal Jewish community of being involved, of sort of switching between with other communities.
Yep.
I don't know what we'll decide in the end. I think it's been the two mics have been probably talking to Mosaic, Walton and Beryl.
Yeah, I know there's been conversations which I haven't been part of, not sure you had, but I think we're kind of on the same wavelength. We're just trying to get there, but at least we're working together. I think that is what the value is. And it sounds sort of kind of in both. It's like best interest for both of us, and I think there is a lot of common ground. And we've got got Rachel as well, who's really, really good for us. And the fact that she's got a link with you, that will kind of kind of be a bit of a mediator. Okay, Michael. Well, I'm going to go now. And bye to you. Say hello to your mum, Alison.
Just something.
Yeah.
Rachel's our permanent rabbi now, isn't she?
Not permanent. She's interim rabbi. What the situation is, we needed somebody to tide us over. We couldn't get a candidate. Well, we could, but the candidate pulled out, so now we're in limbo again. So we needed an interim, but it's more from the service point of view, we're fine, but from the pastoral side, it's been really tough in these times. We needed someone. We can't have their group.
Rachel has officially retired, so she's not going to be signing on for like 5-7 years as a rabbi.
No, it's literally to tide us over until permanent appointment. And she's ideal because she's sort of local. She knows a lot of us, and she's happy to do it. I don't think, retired. I didn't think I'd be going for this. I think she's very enthusiastic.
Can I just say thank you very much, Kevin? It's been marvellous these past few months.
Yeah, it's good.
Grateful.
Thank you. Before I go, Mike, are you able to measure your attendances from your kind of
online? Yeah, Facebook does say so. We can get like 50 on a Friday night.
15 or 50? Sorry,
50.
Oh, that's a fantastic.
Let's put it this way: we wouldn't get 50 in the building.
Yeah,
we've got a lot more online than attend the actual services, but that's also because people have time. I'm not traveling back from work on a Friday night, so I can
yeah, exactly. And then you've got another journey to, yeah, I get that fully. But if you could just after work and you can just sort of log in.
Yeah.
What I don't want to happen though is that when we are back to normal, it will happen, is that people are too reliant on these kind of services.
I can well see something like that. I mean, Friday night, I'll come home and I'll just watch the play back the stream, the service that was streamed the evening.
Maybe Friday, not sad. I don't want it to be a complete replacement. Maybe for meetings and some ad hoc services aren't really well attended. But I don't want this to be the actual kind of the way forward.
We're definitely going to carry on with having our services streamed afterwards, so people will be able to watch them online. And let's be honest, there's always going to be people who, for whatever reason, can't make it to the building.
Sure. Yeah, we got the streaming should continue, but it should be an alternative, not as the main way.
And it might allow people to maintain more of a relationship with the synagogue when their circumstances change. Especially things like being away. If you move away from the area, you can still
or move abroad.
I was thinking particularly kids going to university. Exactly. We can potentially keep them involved.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good thinking. Anyway, it's nice speaking to you, Michael. Yeah. I need to go now. Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Don't forget shalom.
Bye.
Shalom and thank you for